Hey, happy day, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. Nose, money. Don't pay through the nose to supersize or save or grow or start or anything with respect to your business. Pay for the nose is one of those expressions that's got a really interesting history that I was definitely not aware of. I never realized that this expression was from, for sure, back in the 1600s, but maybe as far back as the 9th century. And it, of course, means to pay too much for something. So we want to make sure that we're not expending too many resources, whether it's actually money, which, this refers to paying money, or our time or our attention or our energy or anything. We would never want to feel like, and we certainly never want to make anybody that does business with us in any way, shape, or form, in any time, especially in this time in history, to feel like they have paid too much for the products or services that they get from our organization, from any interaction they have with us. We don't want them to think that it took them too long, it took too much of their attention or their energy or their money or any other resources they might exchange for the value that we create for them. Now, this expression, it might have come from the 16th century, where the Greek word for nose was rhino, and rhino also was slang for money back then. So they thought maybe the two got connected somehow, and paying through the nose, because rhino meant nose and money, got connected. Or it could go back as far as the 9th century, which this one surprised me, where the Danish authorities actually used to charge the Irish a poll tax. And if they couldn't pay the tax, they would cut off their nose or at least split their nose. And so that one is probably where it came from, because literally people were paying with or bleeding out their noses if they couldn't pay a tax. Well, thankfully, we don't, cut off limbs if people can't pay taxes these days. And for the first time in history that I've ever been aware of, taxes have been postponed. It's kind of like postponing death. People get to postpone taxes. That's an unprecedented, unheard of time, or an unheard of thing, at least in my experience. So paying through the nose, of course, means paying too much for something. And a lot of times, not a lot of times, all the time, what we pay for things is relative, right? Whether something is inexpensive or expensive is entirely up to us, right? It's up to our individual customer, and it'll be a little bit different for each of them. I know people that will drop tens of thousands of dollars on a watch, or thousands of dollars on a handbag or a red pair of shoes, and not bat an eyelash, because they think that the status and the brand that comes with that is worth the expense, and it doesn't bother them at all. Now me, I'm never going to spend a couple $1,000s on a red pair of shoes or a handbag, because to me it would feel like it was paying through the nose. It would feel like it's paying too much, and it's an unnecessary use of resources. No matter how much money I have, there's certain things I won't spend my money on, given my past experiences, given how I feel about things, and we're all different. So it makes it a little bit dicey. Not so much, because we're attracting the people we want to work with when we're providing value to our customers, to the people that we serve. But if we keep in mind that we offer them offers instead of just products and services and one-off things, and we make sure that we're giving them much more value than the money that they're exchanging or the time that they're investing with us, then we should make sure that they're never feeling like they didn't get the best side of the deal, right? And we do that by making sure that they have a great customer experience, by checking in with them, communicating with them, staying in contact with them, and making sure that we follow up with them, and that we help them to consume the product or service that they get from us, that they are not having to feel like it's too hard or too complicated, and they're having to spend too much time or energy to work with us or our organization, or to use the products and services that we provide for them. It's just a really interesting way of looking at customer service and customer experience, and thinking about how we feel when we're in that position, when we feel like we've paid too much, because what we got as an end result, or a transformation, or a change in our life, or a value for a product or service, wasn't, number one, what we expected. That's a really big miss, and we'll feel like we paid too much or paid through the nose. And then buyer's remorse. If we have buyer's remorse about something, then we didn't get from the organization we were dealing with the sense of value in what it is that we got in exchange for our money, usually, or whatever resource it was. I would love to know your experience with this expression, if you've used it, if you've heard it, if you feel like you've paid too much or had buyer's remorse for something. I'd love to hear your stories about that. Share in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where did it come from? And how might you apply it to these days, not only growing and building your business, but saving your business and making sure that after all the turmoil in the world, you actually have a business that not only still exists, but is actually thriving and moving you towards your long-term goals and visions for how you're going to impact the world. Have a great day, and I will be with you tomorrow. Bye.